Hello, my loves, and welcome to the very first episode of Reclaiming Our Joy, which I'm super excited to finally be airing and for you to listen and watch it as well. So, get your blanket ready, get your tea boiling, make yourself comfortable, headphones, all of it. Today we are going to meet the beautiful and amazing Zozo Mposula. I actually got to meet Zozo because there's one thing I now really want to make a point in doing, which is whenever I travel, so obviously not in 2020, but whenever I travel, I want to make the point and take the opportunity to meet other amazing Black people who are doing great stuff for the community, who are creatives and stuff like that. And so end of last year, I was traveling to Copenhagen with a brother of mine. And as usual, a few weeks prior, I'm starting to do my research, see who I can meet and stuff. And I got introduced to Zozo as one of the pillars of the Black community in Copenhagen. So I'm like, okay, super cool. And we ended up meeting very close to where she lives with her beautiful daughter in a sunny afternoon. And it was just so much joy. It was so warm. We felt like we knew each other for a while already. We started sharing, super intimate stuff. And I feel like it's just so amazingly beautiful when that happens, when you meet a Black person that you literally just met and you just vibe. So Zozo is a school teacher, but she's also creative. She's a photographer. She's a yogi, she runs, she's a fit mama, and she founded My Beautiful People, which is a platform where she photographs a lot of Black people in Copenhagen, in Denmark, celebrates our beauty. There's also a section on fashion, on wellness, on Black creativity as well. She does basically so many other things. And will tell you about the platform within the episode, so make sure to send her strength and love and all the appreciation that she deserves. Can't wait for you to listen and be part of the conversation. Make sure to comment and like this episode, this video, wherever you be watching or listening to it, and enjoy. So happy to have you, Zozo, on Reclaiming Our Joy. Finally, after some struggles that we had. We finally
and Corona.
And Corona. And, 2020 has been tricky. So, yes, but it's really good to have you. So yes, as I was saying, there's one thing that I love to ask my guests is just to describe yourself. This can be in a poetic way, it can be just physical, whatever you're comfortable, so that for the people who won't be able to see you have an idea of who you are.
Okay, my name is Zozo. Full name Zozo Mposula. I'm South African by birth and consider myself South African. I'm a mother of two, a teenage boy, 17, and a 12-year-old preteen. Mostly I teach. I'm a school teacher by profession, but I'm also an educated professional dancer. So there's a bit of artistic innate ability in me, and somehow I've been able to translate that into photography. So with that, I founded My Beautiful People, which is a space to celebrate diversity in Copenhagen and just in the diaspora. If people who knew me would describe me, they would say I wear many hats, mainly because I'm a school teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a yogi, I do yoga, I run, I'm active in a lot of community building activities or just events. So that's what I'm passionate about, meeting new people, getting people to get to know each other and exposing whatever Black communities that are existing in Copenhagen. And that could be Black businesses, creative artists, content makers. I feel like I'm somehow the glue, and that's a good role to have. Yeah. So that was a long description.
It was perfect. No, thank you so much. That's great. Yes. Okay. I think you definitely the glue. Yes, definitely. That's how we got to know each other. So I'll definitely say that. One thing that I would like to add to your description is that you are the definition of Black don't crack. For those who can't see, Zozo looks like she's 25 years old. Out here, melanin popping, amazing glow, beautiful smile, always gorgeous.
Thank you.
Truth needs to be said. Yes.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Another question that's very important that I like to ask with intention to my sisters is, how are you really? What are the vibes? What are the energy? Are you sleeping well, eating well? I know that you
Mm.
just got out of a week of quarantine, even a bit more.
True. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do you
Mm.
feel? How are you really?
I know that this might sound easy for me to say, you know, because I'm like well, one of those considered well. But if you have health issues, you probably would not think this as a blessing. But for me, who was in, you know, in a well shape or good shape, I feel like it was like a slow down kind of moment, because I'm usually, like I tell you, I'm all over the place. You know, if there's anything that is about Black unity, Black creativity, Black promotion, I always try to be there, you know, to assist and to expose and to help and to mingle. So I think this was like a slow down for me, because those 2 weeks where I was isolated and alone, not that I don't enjoy my time, you know, my personal time, but this was like a forced way of being alone and being introspective, frustrated, feeling vulnerable, also because you realize that you're in a foreign country, and if you were home, things would probably be different. So, but I was also grateful to realize that the community that I've built here has been able to sustain me, especially on those days where people came and said hello. Sometimes you sit across the door and people just come to say hello and chat. And that meant more than anything. It meant more than the food that I was supposed to eat to keep me well, and the calls that I was receiving. So I would say that it has forced me to rest. I've never slept so much. I usually, like, I'm an early riser, and but during Corona, isolation, I've been able to sleep until 9 o'clock, and then do my own little stuff, you know, eat and read and Netflix, and then sleep some more. So I feel like I'm well rested, but I can also feel that I'm more vulnerable now, and I'm taking more care of myself so that I'm also able to take care of my kids. So I think this was like a wake up call to say that no one is immortal, kind of, you know, even the person who consider themselves the healthiest could be hit. And yeah, so I'm in a good space. I feel like I've had time to really listen to my body and my mind. So I'm good. Like, honestly, good.
That's super. Thanks for sharing. I
Yeah.
heard that a few times from people who caught corona. It's definitely a forced time to just chill, sit down,
Mm.
think of, you know, of your health, of yourself, and just
Mm.
slowing down, which I guess for a lot of Black women specifically as well, we're always like on the run, doing things, helping others,
Mm.
showing up. So it's actually very important. So I'm glad you had the
Yeah.
time to do that. Yeah, yeah, that's really good. Super. Another question. So when I tell you Black joy, what are you thinking of? What are the thoughts that come to mind?
Um, I think I would use myself as an example. I have two kids, and when they're not home, I'm more quiet. You know, I listen to music, but I don't move as much. And as soon as they are home, whatever music we play, either it's my son's playlist or my daughter's playlist, then all of a sudden it's like a mini party. And I'm afraid that the neighbors underneath us are just like, oh, these Africans, you know, like always dancing, or but they've never complained. But so that for me, Black joy symbolizes being in the moment and enjoying that, whether it's movement, whether it's music, whether it's singing, whether it's sharing a warm dinner with, you know, good friends, or just having that, you know, usually it's that belly laugh.
I can't hear you anymore. No, I don't know. I don't know why the sound just stopped.
Oh, it was going so
Ah,
well.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Yes.
Okay.
Now it's working.
Did you did you get the rest, or should I?
So it stopped at the belly laugh.
Yeah. So for me, it's not only, you know, having that great laugh that comes from the heart, but it's also the small moments that I share with the people that I love, whether it's through eating, laughing, music, going out. Yeah. That's just it's just like everywhere. Yeah.
Super nice. Super. I hope that soon we'll be able to, you know, have some fun times with the people that we love in
Together.
normal
I know.
ways again. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to go back to baby Zozo and when you were a little girl and go back to your
Mm.
childhood. And if you could share with us, if you have a specific childhood memory that you really cherish, something that brings you joy, that warms your heart when you think about it.
Um, I think it's the enjoyment or the sheer natural joy of movement. You know, as I can have a terrible day, and as soon as I come home and I put on some music, whether it's Afrobeat or whatever, I'll start moving, and it's as if I relax, and whatever the stress that I was having sort of just dissipate, and I start feeling different. And I remember as a child, there used to be these Sunday sessions where men would go and hang out. Shibins, you call them in South Africa, where there's a place where they sell alcohol, and this was like a hangout joint for the men, or even women who drank alcohol. And there will be adults playing music, and sometimes they will play jazz, and sometimes they will be playing pop. And children will come and dance, like entertain, and the adults will throw money. So there was a catch for me to be able to go there and just do some cool moves, Michael Jackson moves, and people would clap. And then the fact that I got money and I was happy and I made someone happy, there was it. Sundays were the days for me. So those are my fondest memories. The self-confidence that I had, I mean, yeah.
So nice. I can very much imagine you as a self-confident kid just going, doing your little show. So nice.
I'm from the township, you know. I mean, I don't know if you know someone from the township, but I think people from the township are very sassy, and they have to be sassy because you need to be, you know, sometimes it's a survival of the fittest, and it's the attitude. It's not what you do, but how you do it. So if I tell you to, you know, get over yourself, it's how I say it that will make you think, okay, she really means business. So yeah, those are the tricks.
I love that.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'd love to talk about food and ask you if there's a specific meal recently that you really enjoyed, if there's in general a food from a specific region, country, somewhere that you really love, who cooks it, where do you find it, and, you know, something that brings you joy in terms of food.
Okay, it might sound like I'm making, you know, free advertisement, but it's honestly the truth. There's this Pan-African restaurant, Sasa, that's open. I think it's almost 2 years now, and they make a fusion of East African and some East African and Southern African, and you can have like samosa, which are vegetarian because I don't eat meat. So, and that's, I mean, it's very rare you eat something vegetarian and it's tasty and spicy and, like, you know, hot. But these are just like, and then they make something called chuchumbari, which is also, you know, like I think it's chapati with some tomatoes and coriander. It's crusty but still soft. And then the other one that that was like an aha moment. If I talk to my West African friends, I was like, really? You've never tasted plantain? But that was my first time. And I'm like, okay, I should be having more of those. So those are the like aha food moments and just like the best. So if you're in Copenhagen, you should definitely visit Sasa.
Nice. Yeah, I had the luck to go to Sasa on your recommendation.
Oh, you did. Oh, yes. You did. You see?
Oh my God. No, it's really something else. Definitely.
I'm not making you
in Copenhagen has to go. Seriously, go and support. It's amazing.
Of course, I recommended that to you. That's so typical.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the place.
And plantain is life. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was living in ignorance. I didn't know, and this is just like, wow.
It's okay. Better late than never. So that's
exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Is there a conversation that you had recently that really left you with a warm feeling? And, you know, sometimes you just talk with somebody even that you know for a long time, but there's just a specific topic that you touch on that really leaves you like, you feel seen, you feel understood, and it leaves you with a joyful feeling. Do you have any of these to share?
Maybe it didn't leave me with a good feeling, but it made me realize that as a parent, I still have blind spots. You know, you can be parent and you can seem to know everything, but it's also very important to engage with the children once in a while about issues like race, but also to listen. And my kids are Danish African, South African, so it means that they have a mixed background. And I think for the first time, I've heard this before, but I think for the first time I really paid attention. We had a conversation about race and about belonging and about when I'm in South Africa, I don't think I'm Black until I meet a white South African. Then, but when I'm amongst other Black South Africans, then I'm part of the majority. And my son said this to me, I think my daughter as well, that, well, for us, it's different. When we're in South Africa, we are considered, the white ones because we're light skinned and our hair is maybe slightly different. And when we're here, we're the Black ones, because we're darker than the majority and our hair looks different. And I really try to, to stick to my points, like, but it's the same, it's like, but it's the same also for me when I go, it's like, but no, mom, it's not the same, and I realized that there was a point that I would never be able to understand. To some extent, yes, but to some extent, no. And I think that was like, it's a moment where you think as a parent that, okay, I thought I knew everything, but there's just so much that I can learn. I sometimes just have to be ready to listen. And I think it can be a humbling experience, especially for being an African mom, because we are very firm in our bringing of our children and how we would like them to be, the values that we instill and all that. And sometimes it's okay to give room for some input from your children's point of view. So yeah, that was humbling.
Yeah, but it's super nice that you listened. I feel like it's not always easy for parents, for sure. And I was chatting with some girlfriends of mine, and we definitely had a hard time having our parents listen to us. So it's really good that you're actually doing that. It's super. Yeah. That's really nice.
I'm not there yet, but I think for the first time I was like, I was still convinced that it was different, but I felt like I paid attention, and that's why I'm able to talk about it now. Because before I've heard it, but not really listened. Just it's not that bad. But now it's just like, okay, it is their reality. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a cultural piece, can be a book, movie, series, something on Netflix that you watched recently that really brought you joy that you want to share?
I've been watching, because when you're sick and the only thing you can do that is accessible, of course, Netflix. And I usually don't watch that much Netflix. But I ended up watching, I think it's called Top Boys. It's a series on Netflix. It's a British, and I managed to watch all the episodes at that time, during the time I was sick. And I also managed to watch, I forgot what it's called, but it's a British actress who plays a role of a woman or a child that has been adopted to England by a lawyer. Her mother was a lawyer from Rwanda. Those part of the genocides at that time. I forgot what it's called. African. It's on Netflix, and that was wow. Because I've heard people raving about it. And then of course I read a book that is like, wow, that should be available in all the libraries. It's called The ISIS Papers. I don't know why I have not read that book, but wow, you have to read it for yourself. I can't, there's just so much that makes sense in how to understand white supremacy and racism as we know it today, and how it's devised and how it's my mind was just blown away and really informed in a way that I don't think I've been before, and noticed also some of the patterns, starting noticing more some of the patterns in society in how everything's described in that book. So the ISIS paper, I would definitely say that was like, wow. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't hear about this. I'm interested.
Yeah, I can send you the author. She's a psychiatrist. She's no longer with us. A psychiatrist. So everything that she's talked about is also based on research and from a Black psychiatrist perspective. Like she says, there aren't that many Black psychiatrists. So. But it's a good book, and usually some of the books about race and everything can be too intellectual, which can make people who are not academia level just lose interest. But I felt like I could keep up. I just wanted to finish, and so yeah.
Sounds great. Super. I'll definitely
Yeah.
check it out. Is there something that really made you laugh recently? It can be a conversation that you heard, something on the street, something your kids did, or something that you saw on social media that really cracked you up.
Oh, I think I laugh. I think I laugh a lot. I can't exactly remember if I mean, my kids crack me up. I know I sound so much like, the mom who just, oh, my kids, but I spend time with them most of the time, so I can't think of something particular right now, but I just know that oh yeah, my daughter made an impression of a British person, a person who speaks with a British accent, and I was blown away. It was just like I didn't know she had those skills, and the way she does it is just like she's so serious. So it's just like, are you serious? And no, but she is serious, and she just continues with this. I don't know if it's a mixture of the British accent, from I don't know, I can't exactly say where in maybe London, London, Brixton, I don't know, but it was just like, wow, this child, I don't know. So she made me laugh, and I had to record that actually because she was just like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but I laugh a lot. I laugh a lot. I try to, to make laughter my surroundings. So
That's super good. Yeah, laughing is
mm,
so healthy. It's so important actually, and we should make it like a compulsory thing to do every day because it helps so much.
it
And yeah,
is.
and we love a good
Yeah.
impression. So I'm glad that you had that and that
Mm.
your daughter is good at that.
Yeah.
That's super. Um, what are the things that really help you to maintain a good mental health, to stay stable, stay happy, stay at peace? Is there like a little routine, self-care,
Mm.
things that you do that make you feel good that I'd
Mm.
like to talk about?
Mm. Yeah, I'm 43, right? I just turned 43. So I feel like there's no bullshit. It's all about sharing and being honest. And if people will take that as a weakness, then it's their problem. And if people can take that and draw strength from that and say, if she can, then I can, then I'm all for that. And I try to be honest. As you know, I've been divorced, not recently, but almost 2 years ago. And there was like a life-changing situation, and I try to talk about it openly because I feel like it's still a taboo to get divorced. It's like some kind of failure, and I don't know, especially around the Black community. So that is one thing, and for me to cope, or whatever that has helped me to cope along these years. And before that, I lost my sister 2 years ago, so it was like, crisis after one another. Yoga has kept me up the whole time, knowing that I woke up with a purpose to take care of my body as the first thing. I've been practicing yoga in the comfort of my own home for almost 7 years now. No pressure, no competition with anyone. Just my phone on the floor, yoga mat, do whatever that I could. Sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes 45 minutes, depending on what kind of state I was in. And that has helped me to maintain the healthy mental state, because sometimes you're just completely exhausted. And then I've been running for 5 years, but recently 2 years ago started running longer distance. And that was also, I'm a morning person, so it would be running and then yoga, and that's how I start my day. During the week, I do like a short session of like a 20 minutes workout or yoga. And then on Saturday and Sunday, like tomorrow, I'll be running. And I run with some women if they're able to join me. And sometimes I run alone. And then I will finish off all the time. And always I finish up with a yoga session. Again, in the comfort of my own home, in my own time. I can determine what I want to do, what I want to focus on. And it's not always about doing the perfect poses. But for me, it's a matter of just recollecting myself, my thoughts, my body, and just saying, this is where you are now. And then you're here for the next 30 minutes or 10 minutes, and after that, I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready to take whatever that's been thrown at me. And I think that has helped me sustain my mental health. And the benefits, of course, is that you get fit physically, but that has not been the focus. It's just like, yeah, a byproduct of that. And it doesn't have to be yoga exactly that. It can be meditation, it can be taking a walk, it can be hiking. I know some Black women who enjoy hiking, and I was like, I need to do that. It can be going out camping, it can be whatever that puts you in a. I read somewhere that you need to spend 10 minutes every day being in your zone of, oh, I forgot, when we're in a zone of, I'll remember it, but you have to be in a place where you can disengage from everything else. You're here now, and it's about you and what you want. And when you do something that you really enjoy, that's the time when you zone of genius, where you are at your best, your high capacity of thinking in terms of energy, and if that's a zone of genius where you just the most creative, the most loving, the most beautiful, the most calm. Yeah, it's not easy though. It's practicing every day. It's not easy. Yeah.
I love that. The zone of genius. That sounds actually great. We should all make sure to make a little time. And 10 minutes sounds like super manageable, no? So that's really good. You're definitely a huge inspiration for me when it comes to working out, taking care of yourself, of your body and mind. And I follow a lot of what you do on Instagram and the runs with other Black women and all of this stuff. It's really, really super, super inspiring. Yes. I want to ask you, what are your love languages? So how do you like to express love to your kids, to the people around you, people that you love? And how do you like love to be expressed to you? It can be through food, through words, through physical touch. It can be through, so many different things. If you want to share.
I don't know if I will speak for every African child, but I would believe that mainly that we're very all these words are just running out of my head.
Touchy, like
kinesthetic, I think that's the word. There's the feeling, the sense of touch, of caress, and when you say that, people start thinking sexual. No, it doesn't have to. It can be calming, it can be comforting, it can be reassuring to have someone put a hand on your shoulder, or just say, and sometimes it can be saying, I'm with you, without actually putting into words. I feel you. So that for me is the alpha and omega. And during the isolation, I was like, I was hungry for that. Not food, not anything, but the embraces, that you'll be fine. You've got this. In a form of bodily contact, and I express love. I think the best in my language, Zulu, because maybe it's connected to how it has been expressed to me. It's gentle, it's melodic, it's poetic, and it's just a simple word, nyaktanda. And how you say it is just like soft, and it's filled with all the warmth and love and a sense of belonging. I mean, I can go on and on, but just one word that is just not even in English.
I can't hear you. The sound stopped again.
I don't know. Are you there?
Yes. Now I can hear you.
I think I have to stop moving my hands.
Okay.
So yeah, Zulu, my nyaktanda in my Zulu language is, yes, it's the best way. And then of course a sense of touch. Those are the two things.
Super nice.
Yeah.
What artist, music, album, kind of tunes that you're listening to that brings you joy, that you feel like dancing on, that brings you good energy recently?
All kinds of Afrobeats, I'm sorry. And it's just like, and people are like, really, Afrobeats? Like, yes, Afrobeats. And when out running, if I need, more energy and to push, I'm having one of those heavy days, Wizkid is the one for me. Yeah, you see, I can listen to his whole album. And then if I really need to get into that dancey mood, then South African pop, which is amapiano, it just does it for me. Yeah. So those are, but Wizkid is like my top list is.
Wizkid is bae. I love him.
I love his style. I love his style. I love the beats. I mean, it's just like, yeah, he's everything.
Yeah.
So
nice. Is there one Black person, Black woman, or group of Black people that you want to send love to particularly?
Yeah. I mean, here in locally or internationally, you're thinking?
Whatever you want, you can do both. It can be many.
Yeah.
Regions.
Yeah. I think I haven't spoken to my women at home. That's my aunt and my grandmother. And I think after the divorce, I just needed to, like to have space because they're very powerful women. And I was afraid that they would sort of overpower me with their advices. And I just needed to, to step away from that and be my own. So those are the ones that I would like to give a call and look forward to seeing them when I can travel again to South Africa. That's international. And locally, it will be my friend and colleague. She's Ghanaian German, and we work together. And having a Black woman in a workplace who understands the experience of being a Black woman and knows and is aware, and you can share and you can give each other that look, and it's like, you know what, yes, you don't need to say a lot, and who's there to support you and give you a hug sometimes when she can see you having one of those days, without saying a lot of words, but just look at you. And then these last 4 years at my current workplace she's made them amazing to experience. And I'm afraid to stop and find a new job because I'm not sure if I will find it. Could be that it's a beautiful workspace, but I miss that. I miss representation to begin with. I see you, you see me, and all the things that I've just described. The fact that some things don't need to be said. We can just be sitting in a room and someone who's saying something out of this world, racist, and we'll be like, and sometimes that's all you need, because you can't be taking all these battles, right? And of course sometimes you take them, but sometimes just like, you know what, it's beyond and above me. That's it. But it's nice to know that you're not the only one, so yeah. Malena, she's like, yeah.
Nice. Sending love to Malena. But this I can so much relate. And I was talking to a sister who was, it's so interesting how this experience is so global, because she was telling me at her work they were moving from the 8th to the 10th floor, something like this. So she was moving floor a lot, and one day when arriving at the 10th floor, she looks on her left and sees another Black woman, and they both were like,
you too, yes,
exactly. And same, they didn't say much, but they just saw each other, and that made it
was
all.
enough.
And she was like, my day was made. I was just so happy. It's so
it means a lot. It does.
Yeah.
And for some people it doesn't make sense, but again, you don't need, when you finally meet another Black woman who's in that space, who gets you, it's no words are needed. So definitely. It's important.
Very super. My last question, Zozo, for tonight. How do you want to be remembered as an ancestor? What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to be like, yes, my ancestor Zozo, she was this and this and that?
Yeah, that's a big question. And I think it's one that now that I'm 43, been here for 22 years, I'm thinking, what is it that I've contributed with? Not so much for the Danish society, because, they're doing fine on their own, but for the Black community, for my grandchildren, and for the Black children to come. And I think starting finding my feet in creating my beautiful people was that, indirectly linked to how would I like to be remembered, or what can I say, or those who know me, what can they say? I've been here, somehow I have been here. They don't need to remember my name or anything else, but they can just say someone who looks like us was here and she created this, and therefore we need to continue. And I'm really trying to find ways, meaningful ways, and I haven't really figured it out yet. But yes, I would like to be remembered as someone who came, contributed, started something, helped, trailblazed or blazed trails, as they say, and inspired, maybe. I would like, if not, a story about me somewhere, in a library, at least some of my pictures to be included somewhere, so that whatever Black child or brown child that will, visit the library, they will say, someone must have been here to have done that, but it's still a big puzzle. It is, and one that is heavy to carry, especially when you have kids, because you're feeling, what am I leaving behind for them and their children and my great grandchildren? So maybe next time when we have a chat, I would have figured it out and say, you know what, I know. But for now, my beautiful people is the tiniest contribution to that part. And I don't know. Yeah.
Nice, that sounds great. My beautiful people, definitely, it's already a huge contribution and a beautiful legacy, and I think you bring so much to the community, in Copenhagen already, which is so nice. So definitely a lot to be proud of. Yes, and I'm very thankful for you to have met you, to be in touch with you. You're such an amazing and inspiring woman. So yes, I'm very thankful for you, and thank you so much for making the time to record with me. That was really super.
I can say the same about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listening to your podcast with your co-hosts, yeah, you are a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, people need to know more about these things. They need to listen to us. They need to hear these things, Yeah.
Definitely.
So
to finish off, do you want to let us know where can we follow you, give you strength and love, like pages, visit websites? Please tell us everything.
Yeah. You can visit my beautiful people on Instagram. I think it's _my_beautiful_people. Or you can, I mean, I don't do so much for myself in terms of Zozo. I just share, but not, maybe something else will become. But my beautiful people mainly. And then there's a website that is under construction. It's www.mybeautifulp, because I couldn't get the people when I bought it was already taken. .com, and this is where you can see some of the things that we're doing. And yeah, and so far that's it. And very soon I'm hoping to start a running group, so it becomes formal, because right now it's just been very informal, where you can visit the webpage, and it will be mainly for Black women who are running, but I would also like to sort of expand it a bit. But my focus is also, I mean, always Black people first, in terms of mental health and physical health, and socializing, the social part of it when running, because nothing like that exists also. It's also finding those spaces, those holes that are not filled. Instead of asking for a table, we're creating our own, right? And there aren't any running groups for Black people. And when you do run outside, you see 1 or 2 Black people running, not that much. And that makes me think as well. So that is also needed. So let's see.
Super, that sounds great. I'll anyways put all of the links in the description of the episode, so that people can check it out and follow, and whenever that group will come up, which sounds great. Super. Zozo, thank you so much again.
Thank you, Sarah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, sending all the love.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Reclaiming Our Joy. I hope you enjoyed it. To give some visibility, strength, and love to this podcast, make sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms, as well as on the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, comments, cake recipe, joy to share, if you want to work together, feel free to reach out by email at reclaimingourjoy@gmail.com. Sending love.